Welcome to the School of Hollywood. Hi, I'm Steve Owens, and today we've got a great guest, Ryan Francis. You may remember him as a young Peter Pan in the movie Hook with Robin Williams and Julia Roberts. Maybe you'll throw a little magic our way today. Ryan is now a TV and film producer, as well as continuing on a very successful acting career. I want you to take a moment and hit that little subscribe button, write a review, and continue to listen to the School of Hollywood as we get into Ryan's journey. So what's up, buddy? I haven't seen you in a while and talked to you.
Yeah.
I know you've been busy in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I have. Yeah, I just completed a film called The Inhabitants. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that with Joel Mulrooney and Leslie Bibb, and did it with Jaron Lauder, who's the director of the other film that I did, the Stay Out of the Attic.
Well, you've had quite a bit of time in Tulsa. You've worked on how many movies there since October?
I've actually done 3 films out there in Oklahoma, a couple in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and shot up in Norman on campus over there at Oklahoma University. So it's been busy. I've been busy. That's why you haven't seen me. I've been gone. I've been gone making movies.
Yeah, I saw the hallway with all the beautiful women going, "Oh, Ryan, it's our last day with you."
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was a great filming. It was a lot of fun. Those girls are so sweet. They're really, really good actresses, super professional. It was a lot of fun. It was great to be on campus there and, reliving the college days that I never had.
So tell me the difference between Tulsa and Oklahoma City versus working in Los Angeles.
Interesting. I don't know. Honestly, I got to say the crews out there are really on point. They know their stuff. To be honest, not much. It was just like filming here in LA, except they're filming in LA. They're not filming in LA, but they're filming in Oklahoma. So no, those guys are out there super solid, and the locations are amazing out there. It's really actually one of the most diverse topographies in the country, I believe. They have it all out there. They have from like sand dunes to lush forest. It's kind of wild, actually.
So I spent some time in Tulsa town working in radio, and it's a great party town, even though it shuts down early. Tell me about the lifestyle now in Tulsa.
Yeah, it's certainly changed, obviously, because of COVID, but nonetheless, they still close early in Tulsa. But it's a great town, really, really great town. Really enjoyed working there. Really enjoyed the people. Really enjoyed the pace. We shot down in downtown Tulsa, and it's just such a cool little town there. I really had a great time. I didn't get too much chance to get out and play because of work. Obviously, you're working so many hours on set, and then when you do have a day off, you're just like, I'm not going to do anything today. So, but yeah, no, it's great. I had a great time. I mean, it's, you were there for so many years. It's a great place.
I know that you were also doing some production work and you were in the COVID cop division. So tell us about what the COVID cop does.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Basically I'm just, organizing and the testing and checking the results, basically tracking everybody. There's a lot of rules and regulations, timelines that you have to go by. You're basically testing people 2 days in advance, and then immediately trying to get the results as soon as they come in so you can prepare. Hopefully, if there's a negative or a positive of what you have to do. Thankfully, we didn't really have to handle any of that stuff. Everyone was it was great. Everyone was testing negative. I went through 3 films actually with a few scares, but no problems. But it was an everyday thing because you're also working with extras and certain actors that aren't working on certain days, and then you've got the 2-day factor that you have to incorporate. So it's just basically a lot of Excel sheets and tracking and documenting and printing out labels and testing. And then I also had to then run the results out to Stillwater. So I had to make about an 1.5-hour drive almost every day out to Stillwater to drop off the results at the lab over at OSU and then come back to set. So it was a lot. It's a lot of work, man. Like, this is the precautions and the things that, the industry is taking so that we can work. Um, we're really trying to lead the way and having, the proper PPE, having all of the necessary steps taken to be able to shoot a film. And that's what it has. It's a lot of work, but that's what we need to do right now to ensure that our industry can move forward.
That is awesome. Looking at your credits, I saw that Big Business was one of your first big studio movies. You were
Yes.
cast by Howard Fuhrer, a legend, and Steve Tisch, the producer.
Yes.
Do you remember getting cast in that movie?
Um, yeah, I do. I remember because, you get the breakdowns and you see you're like, oh, Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler. And I was actually really super fond of both those actresses at the time. I remember seeing them and stuff and being really like in awe of their talents. Lily Tomlin's so funny, so real. Bette Midler, dancing, singing, actress. I mean, just stars. So seeing their names on the breakdown, I do remember seeing that. And Jim Abrams, the director, just seeing these big names. And I remember reading for it. And again, like you said, a studio film and one of my earlier ones. It was a very exciting thing. Now, I didn't get to share any scenes with Lily or Bette, but being in the same film, being on such a big scope film like that, a studio film on those lots, a period piece at a time. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I was always happy to work, but working obviously on films like that were kind of an extra special.
Yeah, considering that the film did 55 million back in the day,
Yeah,
look at the numbers that it would have actually today would be phenomenal. But then you had the big break,
yeah,
the biggie.
yeah,
You got to work with one of my favorites. Unfortunately, he has passed, Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, and my absolute favorite female actress, Julie Roberts in Hook. And of course, the best director in the world, Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg, baby. That says it all. Legends. All those guys and ladies are legends. I mean, it's a legendary film. It's an experience that I truly cherish and super grateful for. It was it was so amazing to work with them, to work on those sets, to be a part of the project. I mean, it's insane. Like, I mean, it's really insane to think about how big it was. It's just, it's something I'll never forget. And it's something I talk about, I'll work on all these films and people find out and they're like, oh my God, I love Hook. And I'm like, I know, me too. It was amazing. It was so cool.
Well, everybody wants a wish from Peter Pan. Come on.
Yeah, man. No, it was super. I mean, to do the wire work at that time before, like, pre-CGI on these sets where they were literally building the world, working with the people behind the scenes and makeup, costumes, like just legends. I'm just super grateful for it. I mean, it really was like at a time in my life, like just, because I had read for the Lost Boys up until the end. And then I literally walked in the room and he was like, no, you're Peter Pan. And then like I did the whole audition where basically he just like, I didn't even like all the lines and stuff for the Lost Boys. He like, that was out the window. He basically just wanted me to jump up on like they had this huge desk and with all the executives and him at the end. He was like, I just want you to jump up on the desk and like one fail swoop and kind of get into like the Peter Pan pose. And like, that was literally my audition, and rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there any advice that they gave you in the acting career that you've taken with you throughout your career now?
I think it's just something that was already something that I had in my head, but was really like, I feel obvious on that film was super crucial was, always be on time. And I never complained about anything. I'm here making movies. Like, why would I ever, because you have these moments where you're just all this downtime too, right? During setups or changeovers, or it's not your scene. And it's it's not as glamorous as everyone thinks. I mean, it has its moments, but you have your moments where like, certain films, like you show up on set and you're not working for 6 hours sometimes. Like, it's filmmaking is not easy, and things always go sideways at some point. So just being on time, not complaining, doing my job, knowing my lines. That's how I feel like I've always just kind of, booked anyways. But just, again, like I was saying, showing up on time and just being professional. That's all. That's what I learned on Hook.
Okay. How long did you work on the show?
Yeah. You know, coincidentally, I mentioned people think like you only see a certain amount that makes a screen, but I worked almost 2 weeks, like probably like 13 days on that, because there was actually a bunch of stuff that didn't make the cut. And for the longest time, I almost thought, did I imagine that? Like, did we actually shoot that? But there's a whole segment of stuff that we shot where, you know, when he first leaves Neverland, and he's in like a regular school and he's off daydreaming, and, the teacher's on his ass about, daydreaming and not being in class. And there's that, because obviously, he grows up to be, Peter Banning, Robin Williams, the lawyer. But somebody actually recently sent me, I guess they had released on the DVD, there's a new one with deleted scenes, and there's a clip of Peter in school. So yeah, I shot about 2 weeks, 13 days.
Oh, good. Then you made a little more money in residuals.
I did. Yes.
Got to stay on top of that cash.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You played Trevor on the series Sisters, and with some of my favorites, Paul Rudd, Celia Ward, and Ashley Judd. What was interesting about working with those actors, considering they are primarily film actors going into television?
Well, this was like before they were anyone, or like, I mean, like this was a long time. This was a while ago. So this was before their film careers. So they were just starting out. Same with George Clooney at the time. Clooney was on Sisters, and he basically left Sisters to go do ER on the same lot, literally like 2 stages down. So a lot of people got their start on there before they did any movies. But what I will say is you could kind of, you feel when you see somebody, the buzz, when they're on a show and people talking, like, that like those people are gonna do something. And it felt like that with Paul Rudd and Ashley Judd and George Clooney. Like it felt like they were about to pop, and they did.
What was the transition from being a child actor to an adult actor?
It was fairly easy. I mean, I've always kind of fairly consistently worked. I mean, I don't know. I've never had another job other than doing this, which is like, I'm just truly grateful for. I mean, but it's really since 1983, I think, is when I got my SAG card, and I've literally this is the only job I've ever had. So I just always worked. I don't know. I mean, the transition, like, it's just always felt natural. I didn't really have any downtime. I mean, I took a little time off to get into directing, but that was, only about 10 years ago. But I just, like I said, I've always kind of I work with new people, but I work a lot with people that I've worked with before. So I don't know. I just always worked, man. I don't know. The transition was fairly seamless, to be honest.
Nothing wrong with that. As a kid, obviously, you raked in a lot of money. What did you do at 18 when that money became available to you? Did you spend it or did you invest it?
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell it to you like this. First of all, I invested it. 1, 2, I mean, my parents they were cool. Like, I've had a credit card and a cell phone since I was like 10 years old. I mean, I literally had like the brick with the shoulder strap and like the wire and the phone, like it's like Vietnam, like like one of those. And I've had a credit card since like the 80s. Like, so I've always had access to my money. But I invested, and I was always, thinking about the future, and Yeah, so like I said, I don't know. I've always spent my money. I think back on some purchases, and I'm like, whoa, what was I thinking? But I also, I also collected a lot of art and cars. I started collecting art when I was like 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I collected my first piece, I think, when I was like 10 years old at the Beverly Center. An artist named Yuri, um, and yeah, I ended up collecting a lot of his pieces. So I don't know, and I still have those pieces, a lot of them, most of them actually, suites, collections, many pieces of his, and a few others. Anki Tonk is a Japanese artist. So I've always had access to my money, Steve.
Okay, good.
and
Well,
I
wait.
spent a lot of it, but I made a lot of it. And I mean, I made a lot when, at that time, I mean, the 80s, 90s, like, man, like you could just crush it, like commercial wise, like, this was before buyouts. Like now it's pretty much buyouts, but then you were getting paid residuals like every time it ran. And yeah, so
Yeah, I had a couple of clients that they did extremely well. One was the Rosarita beans, the other one was on a Special K, and
uh-huh.
it was big money,
It was back
big
then, man.
money.
It really was.
You had a phase that you did a lot of the dark projects, the Poltergeist, and the Buffy and the Vampire, and then some scary
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
What inspired you to go that route? Was an agent going, "You got to do these," or was it, "Man, I want to do these"?
No, it was man, I just kept booking those. I would just get those call I would just get the call for those, and I would just, like, you're right. Like there was just a time where, like, that's what it was. Like it was just, I was like all these like bad boy roles and all these kind of darker type of films. I don't know. I definitely had that phase where, like, that's just what it was. And I got to be honest, at the end of that phase is actually when I started to peel back on auditioning and acting. Still working on stuff with people because of, like I said, the relationships, but that's
Hmm.
when I started peeling back, because I was like, man, like this is all I'm doing. And that's when I really started thinking really hard about transitioning into directing and producing.
And that actually was my next thing I was going to talk about. Your company, Ever Bright Pictures.
Oh, you're too good. You're too good. You're too good at this.
What did you learn about being a producer that you didn't know as an actor?
Well, certainly more conscious about time and money. Like, as an actor, it really is. I mean, gosh, you see, it's the best job, man. You're last to set, you're first to leave. You're having a good time. You're not thinking about dollars and cents. You're just thinking about your performance, and that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Because that's the producer's job. But that's what you think about as a producer. It's like, man, am I going to make my day? Are we making these scenes? It's uh, you know, it doesn't even matter what level you're on. I mean, because it all equates, whether it's these big studio films or these low budget films. But as a producer, you're really, while trying to create a nice set environment where everyone feels comfortable to be creative and do their thing within a time frame, you're also like, we gotta go. We're running out of daylight here. So
So did Ryan the producer argue with Ryan the director?
No, no. Ryan, the director, always gets what he wants. He gets what he wants because he usually is securing the funding and everything anyway. So I'm always I mean, listen, as a director, I'm always conscious of that anyways. I mean, I don't try to get too grotesque with like takes and things like that and timing. And I was just doing the AD department as well in this last Deadly Dormitory film. And again, you're never more conscious than running a set and making sure things are going and actors are in hair and makeup and they're in the right wardrobe and all that stuff. And again, that's the stuff that you're not really thinking as an actor, but you shouldn't. That's everyone else's job. I mean, a film takes a village, man. It really does. Everyone's got, you got sound, you got camera, you got, the PA's helping out with the extra hands, you got the grip, the electric. It's a whole thing, man. You know.
A lot of actors are on the fence right now about should I produce my own short movie to obviously
Yeah.
get the scenes that I want. What is your thoughts coming from all three sides: producer, director, writer. Actually, also in a
Yeah,
writer as well
yeah,
too.
no, I do. I would say that to anybody is really try to do it all. I mean, it's just like I don't know. I like to equate it to sports a lot, the industry or making a movie, because right, it takes a team to do something. You're all, trying to get to the one goal, and everyone's got to play their position and know their role. Um, but yeah, no, go out and do it. Go out and do it. I mean, do a short. Yeah, shoot scenes. I mean, that's the way that you learn. It's like going to the gym or practicing or doing reps, right? Go shoot something. Go write something. Go edit something. Learn all the process of how to make a film. It's only going to help you as an actor. My acting has helped my directing. My directing has helped my acting. My producing has helped my directing. My directing has helped my writing. My writing has helped my acting. Like, it all goes together, and it's good. I mean, and it's helped me as well as an actor. I'm doing many jobs now on crew and both sides at the same time. I'm acting and also being the COVID coordinator on the same day.
Yeah.
So it's good. It'll allow you to do more jobs, and that's what we want to do in this industry, is to just keep working. So if you can fill all these roles and know them, you're going to keep working, and producing your own short and shooting your own short. That's only going to help your confidence and your experience level.
What kind of advice would you have for a indie producer director when working with actors that are very established?
Um, I like to treat them like they're established actors, and they, if you're lucky enough to get an established actor on your set, you're trying to show them that they made the right decision to work on this smaller film or whatever it is, and you do that by creating a professional atmosphere and making sure, again, as a producer or a director, you're always trying to create a very comfortable set, a place where people feel they can do their job and really, especially as an actor, let go and take chances and do stuff that's, someone wouldn't. They feel comfortable enough to really go for it. So like I said, if you're lucky enough to get an established actor on set, anyways, you're trying to make it as professional as you can. So you want to make sure they're going to come back and work with you again for sure.
Yeah, one of the things that I've seen from the lower budget movies and the shorts and whatnot is that the writer producer kind of get offended when a established actor changes the words in the script.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different. I mean, for me personally, if it makes sense within the scene as a writer and whatever, if somebody can make my words or my movie or the project better, like, I'm not against that. And that's why, look, we're not shooting film really anymore. We got plenty of tape or plenty of hard drive space, or I mean, so yeah, let's try it a few ways. Personally, I have no problem with that, and I don't want to poo-poo on anybody who maybe doesn't feel that way. But I'm personally like, look, if somebody's going to come up with something and it's good and it's still within the world and it makes it better, I certainly can't argue with that.
So have you ever had any of the crazy stories on the set that you'd like to share?
Crazy stories on the set. I mean, in what sense? I mean, there's so many crazy things, like from, even recently, from like, having these like COVID health scares, to which like I can't, legally really talk about.
Yeah.
But like, just even like the stories that you hear from the sets that you're not even on, like, Reagan was out there and they had many like shutdowns and like scares, and I don't know. There's always something. We had recently. There's enough. I don't. Oh, that's my mom calling me. It's actually her birthday today.
Oh,
Shout out to my mom. Happy birthday, December 23rd. So recently we had a certain crew member who had an allergy to nuts, like a severe allergy, and like to the point where they're like, don't even have almond milk in your coffee before you come to set or on set. And sure enough, somebody, one way or another, had nuts on set, and one way or another, he ended up, I don't even remember, like getting sick or something, and we had to call an ambulance. And like, it's just like, sometimes, especially on like independent films, like just things go wrong. Like, nothing really ever goes according to plan. And that's what being a producer on any film, especially independent films, is where, like, look, you're a problem solver, and something is always going to go wrong, and you have to know how to pivot and adjust and keep that boat going.
Talking about adjustment, how did you guys handle craft service on the films you were working on?
Yeah, so I mean, basically, like, there's a craft service person who's overseeing it. There's no more open food; it's all packaged food. Something you can tear open, a Rice Krispie treat, some almonds, whatever it may
Hmm.
be, a stick of cheese. I mean, everything's in packages, and basically, there's somebody who's like watching you, and they're like, okay, sanitize your hands before you touch anything, to every single person. And so everyone basically hand sanitize their hands, and then they take a package of a snack that they want. Same thing with, the cooler, hand sanitize and grab your water or Gatorade or whatever it may be. And then at lunchtime, you know, everyone gets in a line, and, everyone's been tested. Everyone's getting tested basically
Yeah, yeah.
every 2 days. So, you basically, you're in line, and they have, um, they have also, everyone gets a bracelet for zones that they're in. So certain zones don't interact. It's a whole thing, but, we got a truck. I mean, it's essentially the same thing. You're just overtly conscious about separation, distance, and sanitation.
I saw that you worked with Jared on The Bay, and you're working on the film about his dad's life story.
Yeah.
Great guy. And what was the character that you played on The Bay?
I played Officer Betts, basically, a cop in the Bay who's, I don't know, he really doesn't have too much specifics, but I'm in a few episodes. I'm basically the end of season 4 or 5, I believe. And basically that's when, I'm trying to remember, it's a few years ago. This is when, like, Pete Garrett, his mom was on trial. I can't remember her name right now off the top of my head, but Mrs. Garrett, like the patriarch of the show, like the family, she's basically on trial. And so a lot of the courthouse stuff, a lot of the trial stuff, that's where my character takes place. He's just basically glorified extra.
Well, I saw you're also got a project that you worked with our buddy Higan Machada.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hegan, missed that guy. I actually have to see him, well, now that I'm in town, which I also produced with Jared. Yeah, I wrote this role for him, and he knocked it out of the park. He's a great dude. And he's actually a really good actor too. I mean, he's got a great look. He's a great personality. He's such a great dude. I love that guy.
And he was the introduction for me to you. So
Yeah, exactly. He's been the intro for a lot of people. He literally, like, he's from Brazil, like, but he's here in LA, and he's like, he knows everybody. He's an animal. I love this guy, man. I really do. Yeah.
well, I know you have some projects also going outside of the entertainment field. What are those?
Yeah. So I been doing some real estate stuff. I've got a mixed use commercial property in LA, in South Hollywood, right by the Grove, and CBS Studios, 45 units. We've got a little barista cafe going in there. So that's something I've been working on, and looking forward to possibly doing another one.
Fabulous. So you got any TV shows you're going to binge watch over the holidays?
Well, I've been waiting. I don't think it's happening. I may rewatch it, but I really liked the show Succession. I don't know if you've caught that, but it's so good. I like to call it like a corporate Game of Thrones. And I love Game of Thrones, minus the last season, which I didn't mind too much.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
anyways, but yeah, Succession is something I really enjoyed, so I may watch that again, to be honest with you. But The Mandalorian, I'm gonna try to catch up with the family that I'm in town. That's kind of our little thing we like to do, is The Mandalorian. It's a fun little show we like. What else?
Have you caught Billions?
No, yes, I've caught a few episodes. I didn't get hooked into that for whatever reason or whatnot, but I've definitely seen that, and that is a really great show too. That's actually maybe something that would be a good segue if I think it's similar to Succession in a lot of ways. So I may have to dive into that on your recommendation.
Yeah, I actually re-signed up just to watch. Then I canceled the subscription.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Well, that's nice that you got a new season. Yeah, well, it's good that you got a new season because Succession, I don't like I said, the whole COVID, that they were just getting ready to shoot and they had to shut down. So I'm not even sure where that's all at. But the lead actor picked up an Emmy this year, which was cool to see. And I think they also picked up Best Show. So
You've also got some awards yourself, the Young Artist Award.
that was always fun. I'd say because it's funny because it was like there was like the youth in film. I remember it was always like the Kids Academy Awards. It was so funny. I used to be so excited for that. I put on a little tuxedo and everything. Good times, man.
What advice would you have for young kids getting into the business?
Oh man, well, just be prepared to spend, a lot of hours on set and sitting around. And, like I said, it's not as glamorous as it seems. Like it's tough. It's a lot of hours. It's hard work. It takes dedication. And for the kids, it's really also, I'd like to say for kids, if you're under 18, your parents got to be there. So it's really a parents thing. The parents really got to have the time to dedicate to getting kids headshots and getting kids to auditions and meetings, and it's a lot of work for the parents. So more than the kids, it's got to be a parent kid kind of thing. Everybody's kind of got to be all in. It can't be a parent pushing a kid, and it can't be a kid pushing a parent, like because it's a thing. My mom literally had to quit her job to run me around to auditions and school and sports, and it's a lot. That's what I'll tell you. You're talking about having a job as a kid, and it is a job. It's fun, but it's a job. It's hours out of your life, out of your time that you need to think about incorporating school, and it's a lot. So be prepared.
Fantastic. Where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. You can just put in my name, Ryan J. Francis 3, because apparently there's 2 others out there. But yeah, Ryan J. Francis 3 at Instagram, and on Facebook, which I don't use too much anymore. You can just type in my name, Ryan J. Francis, and find me there. Say hello, and I talk to everybody. I always find time to say hello, at least.
Cool. Appreciate you being here today, and hopefully we can catch up soon and have some coffee again.
Yeah, man, I miss that. I miss you, bro. It's been a while, so I'm in town. Hopefully, maybe before I go, we can catch up. I don't even know what's open anymore. I just actually drove by Quality and it was closed. So I don't know. Where do we go? I don't know. But you let me know. I'm down to see you, bro. I miss you.
Bam! School is out. Wow, what a great show with Ryan Francis. Coming up next on School of Hollywood is one of the stars of the original Baywatch. Yes, Baywatch. And she's going to tell us all the scoop.